Good morning everybody. I am Dr. Shabnam, Assistant Professor from the Department of Microbiology, Narayana Medical College. Since we are seeing a rise in the cases of mucormycosis, today I will be talking in brief on mucormycosis. Mucormycosis is a potentially lethal, rapidly progressing angio-invasive fungal infection with increasing cases in post-COVID-19 patients. Mucormycosis is being labeled as black fungus. Actually, black fungi are demotechious fungi, which are pigmented fungi. Mucormycosis is caused by mucorales. So, using the term black fungus for mucormycosis is a misnomer. Mucorales are normally present in the environment, and the mode of transmission of this infection is inhalation of spores. We have seen a rise in the number of cases of rhinocerebral mucormycosis in patients with predisposing factors like diabetic ketoacidosis, uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, end-stage renal disease, patients on iron therapy or iron chelators. Mucormycosis also presents in other forms like pulmonary mucormycosis, cutaneous mucormycosis, gastrointestinal mucormycosis as necrotizing enterocolitis, and disseminated mucormycosis. 10 to 15% of the COVID patients are developing mucormycosis. The reasons for the development of infection could be the high blood glucose levels in COVID-19 patients and the delay in the control of blood glucose levels post-therapy. Another risk factor could be the steroid therapy, which is being used in moderate cases of mucormycosis, but it is being misused even in mild cases. Mucorales have an affinity for iron to be used as a growth factor. And the high ferritin levels in COVID-19 patients adds as a growth factor for mucorales to survive. The clinical manifestations of mucormycosis could be divided into 4 stages based on which part of the body they are getting involved. Stage 1 is the involvement of the nasal mucosa with presentations as nasal stuffiness, nasal discharge. The discharge could be of black or brown in color, and also epistaxis. Stage 2 is when it involves the paranasal sinuses, and the presentations could be in the form of facial pain, facial edema, dental pain, and even sometimes loosening of teeth. Stage 3 is when it involves the orbit. It presents with eye pain, orbital cellulitis, proptosis, loss of vision, and facial nerve anesthesias. Stage 4 is when it involves the central nervous system once it has spread into the cerebral space. It presents as altered consciousness and focal seizures. Mucormycosis mainly needs timely diagnosis. Obtaining a sample from a clinically active part of the lesion is more important because it yields a good diagnostic value. Endoscopy guided deep nasal swab can be sent for microscopy and culture. Nasal mucosal biopsy can also be sent for histopathological stainings. On stainings with Giemsa stain or Gram stain, there is presence of broad aseptate hyphae with wide non-dichotomous branching, which is diagnostic for mucorales. On culture, it grows as white cottony colonies. The treatment modalities include surgical debridement as early as possible, followed by antifungal treatment with liposomal amphotericin B at 5 to 10 mg per kg body weight with strict metabolic control. Alternate inexpensive antifungals like amphotericin B deoxycholate or amphotericin B lipid complex can also be used. Mucormycosis can be prevented by judicious use of systemic steroids, immunomodulators, aggressive monitoring and control of diabetes mellitus, and also strict aseptic precautions while administration of oxygen. I conclude by saying that awareness, due attention to warning signs and symptoms, early diagnosis by nasal endoscopy followed by direct microscopy of deep nasal swab, and early initiation of full dose amphotericin B while awaiting the results of culture may help in the outcome of rhinocerebral mucormycosis in the COVID-19 setting. The key to success is the treatment with multidisciplinary approach and a protocol-based strategy. Thank you.